What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new Stir the Pot. Just me tonight, just Greno with you from the basement bunker here in Colorado Springs. And today is November 14th, 2020. And actually, the reason I'm doing this show is to let you guys in on a little thing that happened to me on November 14th, 2011. So 9 years ago today. I don't like I'm getting a haze off my glasses there. Okay, that's better. Anyways, first of all, I just want to say good evening. I am Greno, the host of Stir the Pot, and we do this show. We're trying to do this show every week. And it doesn't always work out, but that's okay. And so, yeah, I'm here solo tonight. Usually have guests and sometimes co-hosts and things like that. Sometimes more than one guest. But tonight I'm riding solo, and it's for a specific reason. Again, it's to let you guys know about something that happened to me. And a long time ago. It was kind of a life-changing experience for sure. Traumatic as well. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know because it's a big reason why I do the show. And it's part of the reason why I still love working in cannabis and have a lot of different experiences to speak to, both good and bad, positive and negative, about the industry, working in the industry, all my experiences. But nonetheless, met probably hundreds of wonderful people over the course, maybe even thousands over the course of my journey with cannabis and working in the industry, bud tending, trimming, assistant managing, owning my own dispensary. So yeah, I guess I should start there. Yeah, in 2010, I owned my own dispensary with some friends, co-owned, and we had to grow and doing well. And some of the laws changed and 2000, I believe, July 2010. And so we weren't able to keep going with that, but it was pretty much living the dream. If you know, that time in the dispensary medical marijuana world in Colorado was known as the Wild West for a number of various reasons that we don't really need to go into, but I think you can use your imagination. And well, let's just say there was very lenient as far as some of the laws being very specific as far as some of the interactions between bud tending, and you were able to consume on site marijuana, including smoking and stuff inside dispensaries. And it was just a very different time, a very different vibe. And yeah, I feel blessed and lucky to be able to be a part of that and be a part of pretty much the cannabis movement here in Colorado since it started, as far as the legality. In 2009, it was voted in through a proposition. And let's quickly give a shout out to the 5 new states that adopted either recreational and or medical marijuana. Mississippi was medical. South Dakota was medical and recreational. And then I think you had, I can't remember the other ones. That's bad. Arizona. I should remember the other ones. Shame on me, right? I should have done my homework. Actually, I knew what they were. I just got a little excited. So yeah, it was a green sweep though. So anyways, that happened in Colorado through the proposition process. Was voted in medical marijuana, and then subsequently a few years later, recreational in parts of the state, not everywhere. Kind of some of the media gives the illusion, national media, that all of Colorado is, recreational, and it's not the case. In fact, here in Colorado Springs, we have medical only. There is recreational on the fringes in a town called Manitou Springs, and then down south in Pueblo, there's recreational as well. And the pricing, and up in Denver, of course. So the pricing for recreational is quite competitive in places like Pueblo and Denver and things like that. You can find good cannabis products for affordable prices. Anyway, so back to my story. Own my own dispensary, and then in 2011, I got the opportunity to work for in Dispensary, which was a company owned by Independent Records, still is. They're actually back up and running. So good for them. And yeah, so I started out with over on Platt Avenue with the folks over there, got trained up and worked there for a couple months. And then I got transferred over to the West Side. They only had a few people over on the West Side that were working as bud tenders. Katie Cherry, shout out to Katie. And she was also working up at the Grow at the time. And then also, see, oh, we got a guest. Let's see. So it's Vinny G. Let's see what Vinny's up to in the neighborhood of the 64. See how things are going. So anyways, yeah, see, where was I? Oh, so started at in Dispensary and in May. And then, like I said, I got transferred. And then, you there, Vinny? I hope he's there. He's not there. Anyways, so yeah, started working there, got transferred to the West Side. And that was, I believe, in the summer of 2011. And then from there, worked with a crew of about 3 or 4 people. And looks like we're having some technical things going on here. So let's figure this out real quick. I do apologize. Vinny, are you there? Okay, let's see here. Okay, all right. Okay, do apologize about that. I think he's just tuning in to check out the show. And so I had to do a little technical stuff there. Anyways, do apologize. And anyways, so as I said, in Dispensary, working there, feeling good. Really the first bud tending job that I had that wasn't, my own dispensary. And I was on the West Side there on the corner of 30th Street, right next to the Wendy's on the west side of Colorado Springs. It was at the time, in Dispensary had 3 shops. There was one downtown across from Acacia Park, inside the record store, which is a genius idea. And then you had the one on Platt, and then the one on the West Side. So yeah, I was out there at the West Side and with a crew, like I said, of about 3 or 4 people, including Frank G, my brother, who's going to be on one of my other shows. But much love. Frank was going to try and make it on tonight, but he had other plans, but that's all right. And then, yeah, just a small crew of people. So worked all day, pretty much, with one other person, 9-10 hour shifts. So you really got to know people, and including all the patients that came in. Had a lot of loyal patients, a lot of older folks, as well as people that were coming in, just to get a bunch of different products, things like that. And so yeah, 2011. So yeah, fast forward to November 14th, 2011. I woke up. It was a Monday morning, kind of a gloomy morning from what I remember, and nothing out of the ordinary. And pulled up to work on the West Side, parked right there outside of the store, and sat there for a little bit, kind of, as I always did, and just kind of had a moment of reflection and meditation, and then got to it. So at that time, just one person was opening the store. So I went in there by myself, got the key open, opened the store at 10, got there at 9:30. So got all my prep stuff done, opened the store around 10, and around 10:15, this guy came in, and he was looking around a little bit and stuff. And I asked him if he had a medical card, and right away and stuff. And he said that he did, but that he, so he kind of looked around for it. He said, "Oh, I guess I've misplaced it." And at that time, the industry was rather new. A lot of people misplaced cards, still do to this day, you know. And so it wasn't anything really out of the ordinary or anything. He said, you know, I'm going to call my girlfriend and then have her, you know, come give it to me, and then I'll come back in. So I said, okay. So didn't really think anything of it. So I went back to the computer. And these doors are locked. The door was locked for a dispensary, so couldn't just walk in and out. I had to come and open the door for him the second time. So I was like 5 minutes had passed, something like that. And I went to open the door. And again, since he'd already been in, I really, you know, let's get him checked in and get him back there. So I turned and walked ahead of him, and he took out a wrench and hit me over the head as hard as he possibly could. And then started yelling at me. I would say I moved forward against the door, kind of smashed into this door. It was about 5, maybe 6 feet, and smashed into it. And he was, I didn't knock me out, but it felt like when he hit me, it was like a burning sensation. Like someone just took like you know, a really hot iron and just like, you know, seared it into my head. Just really quickly, you know, and then he was yelling at me, and somehow I got up. He was saying, you know, open the bud bar, open the door because, you know, all the doors are locked and keyed up. So you had to have a code to get into where the marijuana was. So he's yelling at me. Somehow I knew my code. And then there was a bathroom just to the right of where all the dispensary, the bud bar, all the cannabis was. And it threw me into the bathroom there. And then I could just hear wrestling, you know, the cash stuff coming out, and didn't know what else. But for whatever reason, I didn't, you know, you're going to say, well, yeah, duh, but I didn't lock the door. And I didn't, again, he pushed me against this, and back of my head was bleeding pretty good. I kind of turned around and looked against the wall, and there was blood coming down. And so that, you know, immediately your body and mind go into panic mode. So wasn't really thinking too clearly about, I was just hoping he would leave and not kill me, honestly, not come in and shoot me or whatever. So that's what's going on in your boy's mind at that moment. And very intense, like very just, and so quick, like what I just described to you was like literally 30 seconds, maybe a minute total. And then I heard the door slam, and then the front door shut. So I kind of sat there for a minute. I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's gone. I hope he's gone, you know. And I grabbed the phone. We had a phone right there in the bud bar, and I called 911 right away. And I said, this is Glenn Merle and dispensary. I've just been robbed. And they knew who I was, you know, the dispatch, they knew the address and everything. And they just said, hang tight. We'll have some officers and paramedics there right away. And they asked if, you know, was he still near the building or whatever. I kind of looked outside, looked around as much as I could. It's kind of out of my mind at that point, but, and mad as well, but didn't see him, anything like that. And so then I just sat there, and I was like, well, what am I going to do? I can't be open. So I called Frank, who was my coworker, who was coming in at 11. And I was like, Frankie, maybe even noon. I said, called him up and didn't want to panic him, but he's a younger guy. Most of the people, all the people I worked with were at least 15, 20 years younger than myself. And, but we all got along great. It was a family. And, you know, to this day, I'm grateful for the way that they all, you know, treated me before, during, and after all this happened. So I called up Frank, and I was like, hey man, you got to come down here. I just got robbed. And I was still able to do that. And he's like, oh, what? Are you serious? All right, man, I'll be there. You know, I'll be right down and stuff. And he probably lived, you know, 15, 20 minutes away or something. And notoriously late too, which this, Frank, I love you, but not this day. He showed up, he was there like 15 minutes. And the paramedics got there rather quickly, and the police, and paramedics started to tend to me. They could see I'd been hit pretty well. And they were asking me questions, just like, you know, what happened and how long ago. And then they kind of treated me, but some pain or killer or something shot me, you know, like injected me in my head. And then I started to feel a little weird. I started to feel a little hallucinatory and stuff. And So a little strange, and they didn't really push like questioning or anything. They could see. Also, it's all on camera. Like there's like 8, 10 cameras in the dispensary that captured it all. So this is like 11 in the morning, 10:45, 11 in the morning. And it was like on the news too, like by noon, a few channels had already picked it up. So, but they got me on one of those. Again, we're on the corner. If you know the corner of 30th there, it's that little house, and the steps are like really steep. And so they got me on one of those gurneys, that kind of adjustable ones. I was like really high up, and they put me on that thing and brought me down, and then put me in the ambulance. Never had been in an ambulance before. And those guys were amazing. Sorry, guys. Yeah, those guys were great. It's like nothing but respect for the way they treated me. And it was funny because, they joked around with me a lot, in that short ride to the hospital. It seemed like 5 hours or whatever. And so I got there and got checked in and everything. And they looked at my head, and doctors, and this, sense of urgency with everything. Everybody was amazing. And so, yeah, and, I'm not going to sit here and apologize for getting emotional. That's what this show's all about, is to let you guys know what happened. And this isn't something that I revisit very often. And you'll understand why when we go through the whole process of this journey that I've been on. It's an empowering one. So I don't want you to feel like I'm sad, or I'm not. I'm happy and one of the luckiest people on earth. I think part of my sadness is knowing that a lot of people don't survive these types of things. And just how many lives that these violent, garbage people, that just like the idiot that attacked me, that these people are. So let's back up to him. He was barely 18 years old. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if he was a drug addict, whatever, but to go into a building where, you're not even supposed to be in there legally, and then to show your face on the camera and all that. And we'll get into how Mr. Moron got his due here in a sec. But yeah, I do get emotional when I see, people get robbed and killed. Like, to this day, it's still shuddering, and just, I'm on borrowed time. I'm on house money, and I try not to take advantage or take that for granted. So, want to look at me, I cried. Yeah, I'm a man, but yeah, real men do cry. And real people that are honest, that's why they do cry, is because things are real. And I'm trying to be as honest as I can with you guys. And moving forward, never be another show like this. So if you get to catch this one, you're a lucky SOB. Because again, I don't talk about this. The show just happened to fall on this magical day of the 14th. And it's a celebration of life for me. And again, we'll get into that later, but I know you want to know the rest of the story. And so, yeah, in the hospital, a bunch of heroes around me, bam, knocking it out. 3 staples in my head. They had to put it back together. If you can see, there's probably see that little bald spot there. And shot me full of morphine in my head. And, it is what it is. Not going to sit here and say I didn't like it, but it's not something that, I recommend for everyone. And, again, I was in the state of shock, and my whole body and mind and things like that. So I ended up staying there just for a few hours. They decided, it was just and I also had bruises on the back of on my back and arms. apparently, and I don't remember this, but apparently he hit me a couple other times after he tried to knock me out or kill me, really, the first time. And if you look at that footage, and again, you can do that. There's ways to do that, but I mean, he was trying to kill me. It wasn't even like, oh, let's just rob this place. I mean, this guy was totally psychotic, probably still is. And anyways, so I'm in the hospital, and then the owner of Independent shows up and picks me up from the airport from the hospital. Brain starts to work funny when you get into these old stories and stuff, dusting off the cobwebs. And so I couldn't drive or anything. I was still really out of it, I'm even really still processing what even happened. And so knowing that I couldn't drive right away, and then also that my car was at the dispensary, he asked me if I'd be comfortable going back to the dispensary. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And just another moment of really I walk into the dispensary. I see first I see Joel Stanley, one of the Stanley brothers, the growers for the indispensary at the time, and then Frank and a couple other Judy Negley, the owner of indispensary and Independent, and just a whole bunch of people, great people, and they were there and just are you okay? And just very consoling, very comforting. And it meant a lot. It really meant a lot to me to have that support. And these were people that were working in that space at that time. Really, it was just Frank and I. So all those people showed up, make sure we were cool. And then, and Dennis too. Shout out to Dennis. He was checking out what they had what he had stolen and whatnot. It was just a few things, not really too many things at all. So yeah, that support was great. And I couldn't, my head wasn't right to drive or anything. So it was just drinking a lot of water. And I think we ordered some food, got some food. And then Joel Stanley asked me, said, hey, I got this friend that's doing a documentary out in California about, cannabis and stuff. And there was at the time, a lot of stuff like that was just getting started. The industry awareness was getting there, and the Stanley brothers were just kind of launching the Charlotte's Web, and I was around for all that too, and Charlotte Figi and that wonderful family, the CBD folks, and so anyways, a lot of different intersecting stories that happen when you work in the industry, and I've been blessed to be around some of the miracle stories, just like Charlotte. And so anyways, where was I? Oh, so yeah. So Joel was like, do you want to do this documentary? I don't want to push you or anything, but it just seems might be kind of a cool thing if you wanted to do it right now. You're kind of lucid. And I was like, yeah, let's go for it. So we waited for this dude to show up, and we did the interview right there inside the dispensary. And, he just asked me what happened and stuff. And I've never seen the footage. I don't know if it ever got released or happened, or if it ever got put out, but it'd be cool if it did. If not, it was actually cool to go through the process and in the moment, and not, because you relived all those things in your mind day after day after it happens. But that first day is kind of it's so new, and this still not even real. It's still like a dream. So it would be interesting and I think it was a little bit cathartic to go through the process in that day. And then Joel's like, hey, let's cut it off in about after 20 minutes and then head home. And so he's like, are you okay to drive home? And I was like, yeah, actually, I think I was. I was around people that loved me after it happened, that, showed me love and kindness. And then I did this cathartic kind of, voice, kind of narrative thing, and heard, you hear yourself speak too during that. So it's powerful. And I was like, well, I'll go home. And I didn't call my wife and kids specifically, because I really didn't want them to worry. And I didn't really know how I felt, or if I was going to, where I was going to be able to drive home and stuff. I just didn't really want to worry them. So I was able to make it home. I drove home, and I walked in and they're like, what happened? It's like, had the stitch. I showed them the staples in my head and then, my back and like bruises and everything. And they were just like in shock, utter shock and stuff. And my daughters were super young. So they're 16 and 14 now. So take away 9. So they were what, 5 and 7? Yeah, when that happened. So super young. And like, I felt really bad, for them because just probably really freaked them out, and stuff. But in the end, things ended up being okay. The next day, one of the detectives from the CSPD came over, a great guy, asked me a lot of questions, took pictures of like my head and my back, and like, man, he whacked me pretty good. There was like, you could see the imprint of the wrench on my back. And then, like I said, over the one over the head was gnarly, dude. But just quote Jeff Spicoli there. Got to always interject a little bit of humor for you guys on Stir the Pot. And so, yeah, just the next day, woke up feeling terrible. Couldn't, because of the worry hit me on the back of the head, couldn't sleep on my back. And that's how I sleep like 80% of the time. So took some getting used to and a lot of restless nights anyways, just through anxiety and stuff. My job hooked up a couple weeks of pay, a masseuse for me, massage therapist, sorry. Yeah, massage therapist. Great guy, super amazing dude. I can't remember his name. It's been so long, but he was really, really good. And had some massages from him, and then got some cannabis from the Stanleys and Katie. Quite a bit of amount just to smoke and relax while I was home. And just, for the first like 3 or 4 days, I was just in a lot of pain, and a lot of people reached out. I just still means a lot to me, all my friends and family and concerned. And it was right around Thanksgiving. So a couple weeks in, I had to go to a Thanksgiving dinner at some family and stuff. And it was, a little stressful and stuff for me. But they were all great, wonderful and supportive and understanding. And, everyone was kind of shocked and like, wow, can't believe that happened to you. And that you're all right, and stuff. And you're up and around. And so I only took like 2 weeks off work. I think I was back at work, which wasn't the best thing. My mind really wasn't right. I saw the assailant a lot in my mind. And then we had this one patient that kind of looked like him and had this backpack. And even my coworkers were like, like it just, but to back up, and this is obviously the gist of one of the gists of the stories that's kind of significant is the detective, when he came to my house on that Tuesday, asked me if he said, there's footage of the guy, his face and all that. Because, Dumper Dumbbutt, of course, looked right into the camera. Hi, please arrest me. And so he said, do you mind if we release that on some local news? I said, please do. Within like 6 hours after that, he was arrested at one of these seedy little motels on the west side. And apparently they found a couple pipes that he had stolen with and it still had our price tags on it. I mean, just not the smartest cookie in any respect. And yeah, just, they arrested this dude. And again, he was like 19. He wasn't even from here. He's from Texas. He was wanted in Texas for high-level felonies already as well at 19. So, yeah, he went away and for a long time, I'm sure. And good, hopefully, I would hate to see us have to pay forever for that guy, but if he can get rehabilitated and realize what a douchebag he was at 19, then, but that's not my concern. Again, I'm just telling you guys this story. And people have asked me, oh, has he tried to reach out? No, I made sure that with the police that because you could sign this consent thing, you want no contact with this person. Absolutely not. And if you're watching this, dude, like, I don't care about you. Please, you know, like you're nothing to me. You're a part of this story. And like, I'm just glad I'm alive. And I'm sorry that my drug habit got in the way of like, and violent nature that you were, you know, it's terrible. And I want to say these things because there's other people out there that are like that too. And it's like, man, we need a lot, we need a lot more people that can do, you know, good in the world and be creative, not destructive. And like, it's disheartening that, you know, and that we have to cross paths with people like that. And, you know, I'm not perfect in my world. I make mistakes. I'm a human being and stuff, but inciting violence like that just on someone, like there's so many other ways he could have done it. He could have put a like little like this, hey, stick him up, you know, and I would have could have gone another way. Let's just put it that way. All right. So, but that's not the end of the story. So yeah, your boy went back to work, wasn't really digging it. So then Joel and Katie decided to put me up at the Grow for indispensary. So I got to work up there, and that's where I got to see all the stuff with CBD and meet all the CBD folks and growers up there, all the other brothers, Jared and John and all the J's. And yeah, it was a whole experience in itself, trimming up there. Katie was my boss, and that was great. And kind of helped me to heal, just kind of get away from the dispensary side of it, things like that. But I'd say it probably, honestly, took me about maybe a year or two to really kind of, you know, start to get the healing in motion with meditation, with, you know, doing a lot of creative stuff, musically, poetry, things like that. Just taking care of myself, taking better care of myself. And I also told myself, since I made it through that, that I wasn't going to take anything for granted anymore. I was going to live life to the fullest every day. And I try and walk the walk. I mean, we're not perfect. We all have good days, bad days, but yeah, just live life to the fullest. Don't be a victim. And it's something that I have friends that have gone through similar type experiences, and that's what I tell them. We talk about it. I've been able to assist some friends with some things that they've had, and I just said, don't be a victim. You know, choose to celebrate your life, and you know, it doesn't mean you know, that other people that you know haven't had that same fate, you know, didn't deserve that. But you know, just you got to be grateful and thankful, and focus every day on the prize, baby. And so that's what I did. And over time, this day, November 14th, became more of a significant day for me, more of an affirmation of life, more of a vindication of my creativity, of my spirit, of my soul, and just feeling good about it. So I started to celebrate probably 3-4 years in, you know, just treat myself. I remember one year I went out to breakfast by myself and just kind of, you know, looked around at the world and said, man, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I get another chance, you know, to be a better father, to be a better husband, to be a better friend, to be a better musician, you know, all to be a better coworker, to be a better leader, you know, and I mean that. I really have tried to own up to that more than ever in my life since this tragic thing happened, you know. And it's funny, a couple of times I've called it an event, and people are like, event? Don't call it an event. It's catastrophic. It's a tragedy. And I'm like, yes, it is. But the end result is that I owned up my own life and I empowered myself. And again, it took time, you know, and for those that are struggling through that, it takes time. It takes effort. It takes introspection. You got to look within, and you got to think about what you want out of life more deeply maybe than you ever have before after things like this happen. And if you pay attention to the signs of life, that it can be revealing and help you to feel good again. And so that's what it did for me. And not only that, but for Stir the Pot purposes, I stayed in the industry. I worked for indispensary for about almost 5 years. And then I took a little bit of a break. I started a book, and which we'll talk about, you know it, and a book about my life as bud tending, cannabis, this experience, other things. And then worked at last year for Native Roots for 4 years, one of the biggest cannabis dispensaries here in Colorado. And definitely our location was one of the busiest in the Springs. Great team. I learned so much and worked with so many amazing people that are so dear and close to my heart to this day. And then I brought in some old homies from places that I worked before, like Aaron Pierce, my old co-host. Aaron, I love you. The old co-host from season 1 on Stir the Pot. He's working there now and excelling and doing well. And just all the people, Janelle Bowman, Patrick Stipes, Jessica Pichardo, TJ Dent. That's my leadership group that I had different times. All the great coworkers. I came into, you guys know who you are. Levon and Tanner, Anthony, Marky, Jenny, like so many great people. Daniel and Chelsea, they were on show number 1. And, to bring it all together, Stir the Pot community wise, that's what it is. I've met so many wonderful people through cannabis. If I would have stopped at that point right then when I got robbed, I never would have had all these experiences and met all these wonderful people. And just had these great times as a bud tender, as a trimmer, as an assistant manager. I loved my job at Native Roots. It was great. It was just time for a change, but it was a really, really hard job to walk away from. I really loved the people that I work with. They're still good friends to this day. Shout out to my crew, Austin Bluffs, NRAB in the house, Patty Stipes running the ship over there. And just for all the opportunities that people gave me. Aaron actually got me the Native Roots job. Daniel had called him looking for to see if Aaron was interested, and Aaron said that he was fine because he was still in dispensary at the time, I think, or maybe he was at somewhere else. But and then he said, no, but I know this dude Glenn, and he's a good worker, no bullshit. Dude gets it done. And so yeah, they brought me in, and TJ was my first boss. Oh, Kevin Harvey too. Another guy I love. Oh yeah, Kevin and Daniel were my ASMs, and Daniel and Chelsea all worked there. And Dakota, love you too. Amber, love you. Yeah, so many. God, I know I'm gonna miss people too, but if I missed you, I love you. You know who I am, and like I was a loud motherfucker in that place, loud at that, like made it fun. I tried to. Yeah, I got my little moods and stuff, but I brought a lot of energy and enthusiasm to that job. Effervescence, as Joe U Vegas once said to me in there. But yeah, I just loved my time so far in the industry. It's just been wonderful. So many great people, many great experiences. And again, never would have had that if November 14th, 2011 wouldn't have transcended and changed my life, and for the better. Again, I'm not perfect, but I've at least attempted with my heart to be, just more focused with my life, try and get the things done that I really want to do. And speaking of that book that I talked about a little bit ago, I finished it, and I will be happy to share it with you and the rest of the world in 2021, hopefully. I have some friends that are gonna very prestigious friends, editorial writer type friends. They're gonna take a look at it. And so hopefully it'll be out. And again, it's about bud tending. It's about cannabis culture. It's about CBD journey, with the Charlotte's Web. There's a little bit of music in there, but I got a whole nother music memoir thing cooked up for you guys later on. And that's be the second thing. But yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to delve into this. If you want to know more about it or have questions about the book, let me know, because I'd love to talk about it. And I have a friend that just released a book. He's a musician as well. His name is Mr. Scott Hilbert, and he released a book called Task List, and it's a fiction book 2 years ago. And like again, I started my book 4 years ago, so it came out a couple years ago, and I was like, damn, I love him. And it inspired me. Scotty, just want to let you know, it inspired, I hadn't told him this, we talked recently, but it really inspired me to kickstart, get my book going. But I realized too that I needed to have the experiences as a bud tender and assistant manager in 4 years at Native Roots before I could really write that last part of the book. And again, it's not a book about someone that made $1 million in the industry or secrets how to, make it in cannabis. It's a story about a guy that at 40 years old, like found this career that just came along. That was this, world life-changing, cannabis, as you guys know, is changing the world little bit by bit. And so just to be a part of the front end of that and see the process here in Colorado has just been a gift. It's been, man, I'm a lucky mofo, and then to do a show like this, I dreamed up this show with some friends, Vinny G and Tony Russo came about, and opportunity with the Stables Media fellas and team. Love all you guys too. And yeah, just keep meeting and the address book of friends and community just gets bigger and bigger and all the time. And I'm just extremely grateful for you guys. We're gonna ratchet the show up, okay? I'm gonna be real. We've had just a couple of times where people weren't able to make it onto the show, so I do apologize to those that do, tune in faithfully. We try and have a show as often as possible, and like to get another co-host in here at some point. So, but I'll be honest with you guys, I have something really specific in mind for that, and I'll be completely transparent with you. Let's see how we're doing on time real quick. Okay, you're tuning in to Stir the Pot. Ooh, 7:45. Okay, well, we're doing good. Wow. Okay, so we got through pretty much the whole story about what happened to me. Oh, also, there was a National Geographic special that was filmed just a few months after this happened, including footage of a moron hitting me over the head and trying to kill me. I was, I don't know, out of his mind or whatever. And it was also on a series called American Weed, put out by National Geographic, and featured the Stanley brothers for like 4 or 5 episodes and just went through like their process of things they were doing and shenanigans with some, just like them playing around and snowball fights and stuff. But there's an episode with me. It's season 1, episode 2 called Weed Jacked. I don't know if you can find it on YouTube. I searched earlier today, could not find it. But if you put in like American Weed, you can probably be resourceful and find it. Hopefully it'll be back up. I know it got seen all over the world. And again, we did a lot of reenactments and stuff, which is kind of cheesy. Like they like came to my house and stuff. But again, it was way after the fact. The Stanley brothers visited me after the incident and all that. But it was months after all this really happened and stuff. The only real footage that happened in real time was, like I said, moron hitting me over the head. And I got to give a shout out to Murray on the Murray Goldberg, because that's where I get the "you morons." But again, got to interject that comedy, stir the pot. But yeah, so the National Geographic stuff, you can find it if you're friends with me on YouTube. I posted the little robbery incident where he hits me over the head, just so you guys can see. And but yeah, there's ways to find it. But I'm in the whole episode. It also shows me medicating. Like 2 or 3 times, like shows me vaping, shows me using a bong. And it's funny because one of the brothers too says, well, at least your lungs are still working. I think it was John Stanley. So hi, Johnny. But yeah, so some funny moments if you get a chance. Again, it's American Weed, season 1, episode 2, Weed Jacked. And it was kind of a fun process. I talk about it in my book a little bit about some of the producers and just how they do their shows on Nat Geo. It's kind of interesting to have an insight onto how it all works and stuff. And they buy a lot of food. Let me tell you, man, they go out every meal. They ordered like massive amounts of way too much food, write it off as part of the budget. So, okay, so where were we? Lost my train of thought there. Okay, so we talked about National Geographic. New co-host. Let's be real. Okay. So Aaron was great. Everyone loved Aaron. I love Aaron. That's why I picked Aaron. Aaron was, but it just, he's doing other things. It's like sometimes he works on that night and he's just got other things going on, and I envision another whole like, late night, Saturday night show with Aaron, blunts with Aaron or something. But we can talk about that. But, he did season 1 with me and did a great job. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. And I want to say thanks for sticking with me too. If you guys have made it this far, you like me and you want to hear my story. And I like you. I love you guys. You guys know me. I love people. I'm true to that. It's never all about me. That's why doing a show like this is a little bit difficult, but I'm glad I did. I'm having a lot of fun. And I think this show will have a lot of resonance when people go back and see what I'm talking about. Again, it's just this fucked up thing that happened to me. But again, I own it. I'm not a victim. I'm not like, I took back my life and pulled up my bootstraps and all that. Put together the pieces and kept going, playing music. Done more music in the last 7 years than I ever have. A couple bands and just released 3 albums just this year. An album yesterday. So grenomusic.bandcamp.com. And you can find all my stuff there. You can listen to it, stream it, buy it, check it out. I would really appreciate it. It'd be awesome if you check it out. I would just like to get some more feedback. It's great. And really getting really good feedback. Started the show out actually with one of my tunes, Acrobatic Baby, the first song from the WOMENOPAUSE album that I just put out yesterday. For a little bit of cross pollination there. But yeah, co-host, thinking someone female. And the reason why is get a different viewpoint, a whole different set of things to look at with cannabis, ways to use it, a different mindset, different intellect, someone different. I mean, yeah, a male could have all those qualities too. But I just thought it'd be, fun to have a female on the show as a co-host. And so I had a couple people in mind and they just weren't able to do it. And that's fine. Totally cool. Like never hold, like people are busy and people have things that they want to do. And then maybe down the road, something else will work out. But just to let you guys know, yeah, still looking for that. And, if you guys ever want to reach out, I think you'd be a bitchin' co-host with me and you're female and you use cannabis and you're an activist somewhat, at least as far as seeing, the positive aspects and legislation things go through, not only in our state, but in our country, in our world. Someone that, if you do have creative stuff yourself, basically someone just like me, but female. All right. That's what I'm looking for, for a co-host. You gotta be funny, talk shit a little bit, get in it with a guest, have fun. I feel like the strength of the show is the guests. That's what makes it great, is all the wonderful people that we have on the show and their story about cannabis, their walks through the industry and experiences in life, because it overlaps everything and it connects all of us, whether we want to admit it or not. So yeah, it's just wonderful. So yeah, we'll be back. Hopefully we'll be back next week. Had a friend that's might be able to do the show next week, and it'd be great to have her on. So we'll keep you posted on that. Always check our Facebook page, Stir the Pot. And we also have email, stirthepotco, as in Colorado, @gmail.com. And that's a great way, questions, comments. And again, if you want to be the co-host on this wacky show. And again, I'm not a control freak. I'm up to like, if I have a great co-host, it's just like Aaron. It kind of goes where the hosts go. It's like I have friends that do other shows where they have 5 people that are hosting, and it works out fantastic. So I'm open to, more ideas, but definitely another female co-host would be great. So if one of my homies want to step up to the plate, again, the plan is just, we do a half-hour show normally every week or every other week, and just trying to get some guests in, from different vendors here, from who sell cannabis products in Colorado Springs and Colorado, also, you know, growers, people that work in dispensaries. And we've had those types of people on the show already. So we want to continue that trend and continue that strength. And let's see. So how are we looking? We're about 5 minutes away from an hour. So I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. We'll just go an hour straight. I want to thank you guys to tuning in. Again, there'll never be another show like this, and that's good. And I don't think too much about this day. No, it's not something that sometimes I have triggers, little things that kind of remind me, you know, always something there to remind me. And no, I don't like that song, but I don't. But those 80s songs just kind of pop up because that was, you know, I was born in 1970. So anything between 70 and 90 is kind of just in the reservoir there somewhere. And yeah, I don't think about the day. Again, I celebrate this day. I'm glad that you're celebrating it with me. And I'm just so happy that I'm still alive and able to do this show and able to do music and be a dad to my wonderful kids. And I'm going to be a grandfather too, guys. Holy shit. Forgot to tell y'all. So yeah, my oldest daughter, Fiona, yes, she is with child. I think she's about 4 months now. And I'm super excited for her and her boyfriend, Abel. And they're going to have a wonderful baby girl, healthy, happy baby girl or boy. Don't know what. Either one I'm cool with. But yeah, I'm going to be a grandpa at 50. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think that's pretty much gets you caught up. Got you the new album, again, on Bandcamp. Let's see. And then co-host, come on, step up. Somebody step up. Let's go. Let's get crazy. You know, and the whole thing is the show's fun. The show's a blast. It's easy. You know, it's portable. You don't have to show up anywhere or doing anything, really. And co-host, I pretty much, you know, take the reign as you see, but more questions and the more engaging you want to be with the guests, the better for me. More social media and stuff you want to do, the better for me. Let's do it together, right? Do it together, just like the Ostro brothers say. Do it yourself, do it together. So yeah, it'll be awesome. Have a great teammate. Like, you know, my other teammates on my other shows are fantastic. You know, I got Vinny G on Sunday Spin, and then the incomparable Ginger Lou with the Art Channel. You know, they pull half the weight. And it just makes it so much more fun. Yeah, I could do this show by myself, but maybe I need you. So think about it, and we'll keep rocking and rolling in the meantime. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And yeah, you've been tuning in to Stir the Pot, episode 3, season 2. And we've been live on the YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, I got my YouTube channel, Technicolor Dreams. So I want you to join up and check out that channel and see what you think it's all about. There's my other 2 podcasts are on there, Sunday Spin and the Art Channel. And then there's some Greno videos and things like that. So let's hook up some music for you guys on the outro. So we played Acrobatic Baby, which is the first song from my new album, WOMENOPAUSE, because women go through menopause, so maybe men go through womenopause. But it's kind of my ode to the feminine universe. And people like great artists that I admire, like Dessa and Christabel, and characters in movies like Cherry Valance, who is Diane Lane's character, and The Outsiders, Shelley and Norma from Twin Peaks, my girls, hubba hubba. And then, you know, The Island of Women, which you always, the last song, what you say in, always say in French. So, Ville Invisible des Femmes. I said that wrong, but anyway, so, well, what do you guys think? Should we rock it on the way out? I think so. Yeah, let's rock it. So let's play Glitter Girls. This one goes out to all the ladies. A lot of girl power going on right now, which is fantastic. Now we have a female vice president and we have a female GM in baseball for the first time, and just a lot of other cool chicks doing awesome shit. So girls, keep doing your thing. Guys, keep doing your thing. Ganja girls, keep smoking it up. Here's Glitter Girls. I'm going to do a little boogie for you. And love you guys. You have a great weekend. We'll see you next week on Stir the Pot. My name is Greno. Thanks for tuning into a very special Celebration of Life edition. Here's Glitter Girls from my new album. Go Boogie, go listen to it, baby. Stay sexy. Next week, guys. I love you. Thanks so much for tuning in.